Yep, Oracle is in there, so let's go ahead and go over it. If you're new here, my name's Sandra. This is my set of encyclopedias from the 1890s, the Chambers Encyclopedias. I did have another page, actually 56 other pages to be exact, but the chosen ones do not like me. They keep taking it, so we're starting again. If there's something you want me to look up, leave me a comment. I normally don't ask, but if y'all could like, share, repost, do all that stuff, because they're never going to push these videos out. So let's learn about real history. Oracle, the response delivered by a deity or supernatural being to a worshiper or inquirer. Also, the place where the response was delivered. These responses were supposed to be given by a certain divine afflatus, either through means of mankind, as in the orgasms of the Pythia and the dreams of the worshiper in the temples, or by its effects on certain objects, as the tinkling of the cauldrons at Dodona, the rustling of the sacred laurel, the murmuring of the streams, or by the actions of sacred animals, as exemplified in the Apis, or sacred bull of Memphis, and the feeding of holy chickens among the Romans. Such responses were, however, closely allied to augury, which differed in this respect, that auguries could be taken anywhere, while the oracular spots were defined and limited. Oracle dates from the highest antiquity and gradually declines with the decline of animism and with the increasing knowledge of mankind. Among the Egyptians, all the temples were probably oracular. In the hieroglyphic text, the gods speak constantly in an oracular manner, and their constellation by the pharaohs is occasionally mentioned. Their consultation by the pharaohs is occasionally mentioned. Excuse me. In latter days, the most renowned of these oracles was that of Amun in the Oasis, where oracular responses were rendered either by the shaking of the statue of the god or by his appearance in a certain manner. Oracles were also used by the Hebrews, as in the consultation of the Urim and Thummim by the high priest, and the unlawful use of the teraphims and consultations of the gods of Phoenicia and Samaria. The Hebrew oracles were by word of mouth, as the speech of God to Moses, dreams, visions, and prophetical denunciations, besides which there were oracles in Phoenicia, as that of Beelzebub or others of the Balaam. I don't like that. They were also in use throughout Babylonia and Chaldea, where the responses were delivered by dreams given to the priestesses, who slept alone in the temples on concubines of the gods. The most renowned of all the Greek oracles was the Delphic oracle, see Delphi, which was pan-Hellenic or open to all Greece. Sacrifices were offered by the inquirers, who walked with laurel crowns on their heads and delivered in questions inscribed on leaden tablets, of which many had been recently discovered. The responses were deemed infallible and was usually dictated by justice, sound sense, and reason. Other oracles of Apollo were at Abai, in Phocis, at Ptun, which was destroyed in the south of Thebes. In Asia Minor, the most celebrated was that of Branchidae, close to Miletus. Bear with me. Celebrated in Egypt, Gyranium, and Delos. Besides that, the Dodona, Zeus had another at Olympia, and those of various other deities existed elsewhere. A secondary class of oracles of heroic or prophetic persons existed in Greece, the two most celebrated of which were those of Amphiaraus and Trophonius. The first mentioned was one of the 5 great oracles in the days of Croesus, and was situate at Oropus in Attica. Those who consulted it fasted a whole day, abstained from wine, sacrificed a ram to Amphiaraus, and slept on the skin in the temple, where their destiny was revealed by dreams. That of Trophonius was at Lebedae in Boeotia, and owed its origin to a deified seer. It was given in a cave, into which the votary descended, bathed and anointed, holding a honeyed cake. There were some other oracles of minor importance. Besides these oracles, written ones existed in the prophecies of celebrated seers, of Basis and masseuse, which were collected, holy shit, by the Pisistratidae? Oh, I have no idea. And kept in the Acropolis of Athens. Others of the Sibyls, or prophetic women, were popular, and at a later period, see Sibyl, Athenaeus, and others prophesied in the days of the Seleucid amongst the Oriental nations, as the Arabs and others. Divination was and is extensively practiced, but there are no set oracles. The Celtic Druids are said to have delivered responses, and the oracle of the Celtic god Belanus or Abellio was celebrated. And then it just tells other books. I know that was crazy. Sorry, y'all. It's been a long day. So, what should we go over next? God, I wish that we had access to all these other books too, and we could just go look at them.